Have you ever walked into a room and felt invisible? Not hated, not judged, just ignored. You speak, but people interrupt. You share an idea, but someone else says the same thing later, and suddenly everyone listens. You try to be kind, helpful, available, but somehow, instead of respect, people treat your kindness like weakness. And the worst part? You start questioning yourself. Maybe I'm not confident enough. Maybe I don't look important enough. Maybe I need to talk louder, act tougher, prove more, explain more. But here's the truth. Most people never learn. Respect is not created by trying harder to impress people. Respect is created when your behavior quietly tells people one thing: I respect myself first. That is the psychology trick. Not arrogance, not aggression, not pretending to be someone powerful. The real trick that makes people respect you is this: become calm, selective, and grounded, instead of desperate to be liked. Because the moment people sense that you are not begging for approval, something changes. Their brain starts reading you differently. You become harder to dismiss. Your words carry more weight. Your presence feels stronger. And today, we're going to break down exactly how this works. Not with fake alpha male nonsense, not with manipulation, but with real human psychology. The small behaviors that make people take you seriously, listen to you more carefully, and respect you without you ever demanding it. Because respect is not something you chase. Respect is something your behavior teaches people to give you. Let's start with the first and most powerful shift. Stop reacting too quickly. Most people lose respect in tiny moments. Someone questions them, they instantly explain. Someone criticizes them, they instantly defend. Someone leaves them on red, they instantly panic. Someone disrespects them, they laugh it off just to avoid tension. And without realizing it, they teach people, my emotions are easy to control. But respected people do something different. They pause. That pause may look small from the outside, but psychologically, it is powerful. When you pause before answering, you send a silent signal. I am not controlled by pressure. That alone makes people see you as more confident. Imagine someone says something slightly rude to you in a group. Most people instantly react. They either get angry, nervous, sarcastic, or laugh awkwardly. But someone with self-respect stays calm for a second. They look at the person. They don't rush. Then they respond simply, what do you mean by that? No shouting, no drama, no desperate comeback, just calm control. And suddenly, the energy shifts. Because the person who tried to make you uncomfortable is now the one being examined. This is why silence is so powerful. Silence makes people feel the weight of their own words. A person who is afraid of rejection fills every gap. A person who is grounded lets silence exist. And that is why calm people often feel more respected than loud people. They don't chase attention. They command it by not needing it. The second psychology trick is simple. Speak less, but make your words count. People do not respect every word equally. When someone talks too much, explains too much, or constantly tries to prove their point, their words become cheaper. But when someone speaks with intention, people listen differently. Think about the person in a meeting who comments on everything. At first, they seem active, but after a while, people stop valuing their input because they speak whether they have something important to say or not. Now think about the person who listens, watches, waits, and then says one clear sentence that cuts straight to the point. Everyone turns. Why? Because scarcity creates value. The less you waste your words, the more powerful your words become. This does not mean you should become silent or cold. It means you should stop speaking from insecurity. Don't speak just to prove you are smart. Don't explain just because you feel misunderstood. Don't over-apologize just to keep everyone comfortable. Say what needs to be said, then stop. Let your words land. This is where many people destroy their own authority. They say something strong, then immediately weaken it. I think this is the best option, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's stupid, but just an idea. That one sentence turns confidence into uncertainty. A respected person might say, I think this is the best option because it solves the main problem directly. Then they stop. No begging, no shrinking, no unnecessary apology. When you respect your own words, people are more likely to respect them too. The third trick is one of the most misunderstood. Hold eye contact, but don't stare. Eye contact is one of the fastest ways humans judge confidence. When you avoid eye contact, people may not consciously think, This person lacks confidence, but their brain feels it. They sense uncertainty. They sense nervousness. They sense that you are not fully present. But strong eye contact tells the brain, this person is comfortable being seen. And people respect those who are comfortable being seen. The key is not to stare aggressively. That becomes strange and uncomfortable. The real skill is warm, steady eye contact. When someone is speaking, look at them like their words matter. When you are speaking, don't let your eyes run away from your own message. When there is a serious moment, don't immediately look down. This one habit can change how people experience you, because most people are distracted. Their eyes are on their phone, the room, the door, the next person, the next thought. So when you give someone your focused attention, they feel it. And when people feel respected by your attention, they often return respect back to you. That brings us to the fourth trick. Listen like you are not waiting for your turn to speak. This is where real respect begins. Most people do not listen. They reload. While the other person is talking, they are already preparing their next point, their defense, their story, their advice. But respected people listen differently. They listen to understand the person, not to win the moment. And this makes them powerful, because when someone feels truly heard, their guard drops. They trust you more. They open up more. And they begin to see you as emotionally mature. This is why great listeners often become the most respected people in the room. They don't need to dominate the conversation. They control the quality of it. Here's a simple way to do it. When someone finishes speaking, don't immediately jump in with your opinion. First, reflect something back. So what you're saying is, the real issue isn't the deadline, it's that nobody gave you clear instructions. That one sentence shows intelligence, patience, and emotional awareness. And people respect emotional awareness because it is rare. Anyone can talk. Few people can truly understand. The fifth trick is where many kind people struggle. Set boundaries without guilt. This may be the biggest respect switch of all, because people do not respect what is always available. If your time is always available, people stop valuing it. If your energy is always available, people start expecting it. If your forgiveness is always available, people become careless with your feelings. This does not happen because everyone is evil. It happens because human behavior adapts to what is allowed. If you always say yes, people stop checking whether it costs you something. If you always respond instantly, people assume your time is theirs. If you always tolerate disrespect, people learn that disrespect has no consequence. So if you want respect, you must have limits. Not loud limits, not angry limits, clear limits. For example, I can't take this on today. I'm available after 3, not before. I don't mind discussing this, but not if we're raising voices. I understand your point, but I don't agree with being spoken to that way. These sentences are not rude. They are self-respect in language form. And here is the uncomfortable truth. Some people will only respect your boundary after they first test it. They may push, they may guilt trip, they may act surprised, not because your boundary is wrong, but because they were benefiting from you not having one. Stay calm. A boundary does not need a long explanation. The more you over-explain a boundary, the more it sounds like a negotiation. Say it clearly, say it respectfully, then hold it. People respect the person who respects their own limits. The sixth trick is about your body. Own your space. Before you say a word, your body has already spoken. Your posture, your pace, your hands, your shoulders, your breathing, all of it sends signals. A person who shrinks physically often gets treated as if they are unsure emotionally. Slouched shoulders, nervous hands, constant fidgeting, a soft voice that disappears at the end of sentences. These things may seem small, but they shape perception. Now compare that with someone who stands tall, keeps their shoulders relaxed, moves slowly, and takes up an appropriate amount of space. They don't need to act dominant. Their body simply says, I am comfortable being here. And that matters, because people respect presence, not perfection, presence. You can practice this anywhere. When you walk into a room, don't rush like you are apologizing for entering. When you sit down, don't fold into yourself. When you speak, keep your voice steady. When you listen, keep your body open. This doesn't mean acting like you own the room. It means acting like you belong in it. And once you believe you belong, others are more likely to believe it too. The seventh trick is powerful because it changes how people feel around you. Give respect first, but don't beg for it back. Some people think respect means acting cold, distant, or superior. But real respect is not built through arrogance. It is built through dignity. The most respected people often treat others well, regardless of status. They don't only respect the boss, they respect the waiter, they respect the assistant. They respect the person who cannot do anything for them. Why does this matter? Because people watch how you treat people who have no power over you. That reveals your character. When you are kind without being weak, polite without being fake, and respectful without being desperate, people sense integrity. And integrity creates long-term respect. But there is one important difference. You can give respect freely, but access to you should still be earned. This is where many people get confused. They think being respectful means tolerating everything. It does not. You can speak kindly and still say no. You can be generous and still have limits. You can forgive someone and still change how close they are to you. Respecting others does not mean abandoning yourself. The eighth trick is subtle. Ask for small advice from the right people. This sounds strange, but it works. People often respect you more when you make them feel valued. When you ask someone for a small piece of advice, you give them a moment of importance. Their brain feels useful, and when someone invests even a little effort into you, they often feel more positively connected to you. But the key is to do it with confidence, not neediness. For example, you're good at presenting. What's one thing you'd improve here? You handled that conversation well. How would you approach this? I respect your experience with this. What would you suggest? This does two things. First, it makes the other person feel respected. Second, it shows that you are secure enough to learn. Insecure people pretend they know everything. Confident people can ask for input without feeling smaller. That humility makes you more respected, not less, because nobody respects a fragile ego for long. The ninth trick is be consistent. This one is not glamorous, but it is one of the strongest foundations of respect. People respect those they can predict in a good way. If you say you will do something, do it. If you make a promise, keep it. If you cannot deliver, communicate early. If you make a mistake, own it. Consistency builds trust, and trust becomes respect. Many people want instant respect, but they live inconsistently. They are confident one day and insecure the next, reliable one week and careless the next, friendly in public and disrespectful in private, motivated when watched and lazy when alone. People notice patterns. Your reputation is not built from one big moment. It is built from repeated small moments. Every time you keep your word, you teach people that your words mean something. Every time you stay calm under pressure, you teach people that you are stable. Every time you act with integrity when nobody forces you to, you teach people that your character is real. That is how deep respect is built. Now here is the final and most important lesson. Stop trying to be liked by everyone. This is the hidden reason many people lose respect. They want approval so badly that they become flexible in all the wrong ways. They laugh when they are uncomfortable. They agree when they don't agree. They say yes when they mean no. They hide their opinions to avoid tension. They become whoever the room wants them to be. And at first, this may make people like them. But over time, it does not create respect. Because people can sense when you are afraid to be yourself. Respect requires a little risk. The risk of being misunderstood. The risk of saying no. The risk of disappointing someone. The risk of standing by your values even when it is uncomfortable. You do not need to be rude. You do not need to be difficult, but you do need to be real. Because the most respected people are not the ones everyone always agrees with. They are the ones who have a center. They know who they are. They know what they value. They know what they will and will not accept. And because they are not constantly bending for approval, people feel their strength. So the next time you feel ignored, don't ask, how can I make them like me more? Ask, what behavior am I using that teaches them how to treat me? Are you rushing to explain yourself? Are you over-apologizing? Are you tolerating disrespect? Are you speaking without confidence? Are you giving unlimited access to people who give you minimum respect? Because the psychology trick that makes people respect you is not one magic sentence. It is a pattern. Pause before reacting. Speak with intention. Hold steady eye contact. Listen deeply. Set boundaries. Own your space. Respect others. Stay consistent. Stop chasing approval. And slowly, people begin to feel something different around you. You are no longer easy to dismiss. You are calm. You are grounded. You are thoughtful. You are not desperate. That is when respect begins. not because you demanded it, but because everything about you quietly says, I know my worth. And once you start acting like you respect yourself, the world has no choice but to notice. If this video made you rethink how you carry yourself, subscribe for more psychology insights that help you become calmer, stronger, and more respected every day.